Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to stream. It's Broski the Moon Jelly, and it's indie game time. I was actually so excited to play more of this game, Burn the Midnight Oil. After I uploaded a couple videos yesterday, all I saw on my feed on Instagram was Burn the Midnight Oil. That was all I was seeing on my feed. I'm crazy for it. I'm honestly genuinely so sad that it's just a demo for now, but we'll have to make do. We will just have to make do. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time. I hope you guys are having an amazing morning. And hopefully we will continue to have an amazing time with Burn the Midnight Oil. Now, I don't actually know how much is done. This is just the demo. But I very, very highly recommend you wishlist this on Steam. Everything is so amazingly done. Vibes are immaculate for this game. Artwork, gorgeous, superb. I cannot recommend this game hard enough. If you are like a huge fan of graphic novels. Just enough about me. Without further ado, let us continue where we left off yesterday. Or not yesterday. I guess it was 2 days ago, huh? Okay. Oh, hold on. My VTuber model is a little... Maybe if I put myself on this side. Is that better? I guess we'll find out. We'll find out. If not, I'll just shrink myself down a little bit and make me just a teensy weensy bit smaller. Miss Cersei, Miss Cersei, Miss Cersei. She transforms just in time to land on her feet inside. Who the hell does he think he is? She stalks around the tiny space, tearing off her clothes while cursing Abraxas in every language known to mankind. She's never known anyone more frustrating. She pulls to a stop in front of a mirror so she can adjust her underclothes and check her makeup. Okay, so I did think it was strange that vampires have reflections in this situation. Not against it. I just found it surprising. But her reflection makes her take pause. Sometimes I wish the myths were true and vampires didn't have reflections. Because now all she sees in the mirror is a monster. When she sees herself in the mirror, she can never resist picking her appearance apart. The red lips painted that color so her mouth would match her eyes. The black hair she frantically restyles with every change of the seasons. The body that stopped aging the year she thinks she turned 22. Only a few days short of 23. She tries to carry herself to show she's older than she looks, but staring herself down in the mirror, she can't help feel hopelessly young. In the near 100 years of her existence, she's reinvented herself dozens of times. So why do I still look so like the girl I used to be? I wish I could forget her, but every time I see myself, there she is. At least she's beautiful. A small mercy. I'm too old to mope around like this. Cersei picks her clothes back up, slipping them back on. It's embarrassing, really, letting Abraxas shake her confidence like this. She smirks. Back again, I see. She quiets her steps, sneaking around as she searches for the little intruder. Come out, wherever you are. She catches the culprit under a haphazardly discarded bra. Her neighbor's cat. How did you manage to escape your owner this time, She psst at Ellie, luring her from her hiding spot. She's not sure the sounds actually make a difference. Cat just seems to really like her. Or why else would you sneak in here all the time, She picks the cat up, cradling her in her arms and pressing a kiss to her head. Poor Mrs. Harris has to be worried sick about you. Wait here. I'll have Eddie take you home. I'll take that as a yes, ma'am. Good kitty. Downstairs, she finds Edgar hunched over his desk, nose buried in mountains of paperwork. When Eddie's working, he might as well be dead to the rest of the world. Oh my gosh, Eddie looks so much older. I mean, I guess she did say it's been 20 years since we first met Eddie in the alleyway, but oh my god. Look at that disheveled man. The only sign he's an actual living person and not an eerily realistic statue is when his hand moves to scratch at his 5 o'clock shadow. Sometimes it's all too easy to forget that Edgar isn't the same boy I met 20 years ago. Edgar is the only human companion she's ever had. She knows their relationship isn't conventional. Vampires don't keep the company of humans they aren't feeding on, or sleeping with, or planning to change. But Edgar isn't a blood bag, or a quick fuck, or a toy to her. He's a friend. Perhaps her only friend in this world. When we first met, we looked the same age. Perhaps that's why it feels so strange to watch him grow while I don't. Growing old suits him. Where he used to be cute, he's now handsome. At least, in her opinion, that is. I don't know, I kind of like Abraxas more. So, I don't want to flirt with Eddie too much. Especially because Eddie is human, right? And I would never take away someone's mortality. If I were in that situation, it would really suck to fall in love with a mortal being. Because, you know, they grow old and you stay the same age and you watch people around you, potential friends that you make that are human, you watch them grow old and die. And you quite literally have no choice but to kind of witness it all. So falling in love with a mortal being, in my opinion, is just kind of out of the question. Because we know how it's going to end. I know how it's going to end. And no matter how much I loved them, I would never take away their life. Or their ability to be immortal and to turn them into the monster that I am. I would never do that to somebody. So, as much as I think romancing Eddie would be really, really fun, I can't do that. I can't do that to him. Ugh, give me all your blood. What? In his surprise, the back of Edgar's hands knocks over his coffee mug. Oops. Her quick reflexes let her catch it before any coffee spills. Knowing Edgar, he'll lose it if anything stains his precious documents. Edgar wipes the sweat from his brow, breathing out a faint sigh. That was close. As soon as his immediate relief is over, he scowls. You're a little old for peekaboo, don't you think? I'm a little too old for most things. If I let my age stop me, I would have a very boring eternity ahead of me. She sits down on the edge of his desk. You'll never guess what happened to... You'll never guess what happened again to Abraxas messed up the job, didn't he? She was talking about Ellie, but being reminded of Abraxas sours her mood. How'd you know? Heard you cursing up a storm upstairs. Ah, right. Thin floors. Edgar doesn't ask for details, well aware Cersei will supply them regardless. It never takes much for her to go off on another one of her rants about Abraxas and the supernatural secrecy force. They've been a thorn in their operations since the very start. Separate from the Supernatural Crime Division, the SSF are an intelligence agency specialized in so-called counterterrorism. Bluntly speaking, they've been ordered to do whatever it takes to ensure that the existence of supernaturals remains a secret from the larger world. They spy and manipulate the narrative behind the scenes, only stepping forward when an incident grows big enough that it threatens exposure. On occasion, they will even directly eliminate assumed threats. The SSF higher-ups are all mortals, but they send supernaturals like Abraxas to do the dirty fieldwork for them. Many would insist that the SSF are a necessary evil, but everyone still thinks supernaturals who join up are sellouts. Innocence or guilt matters little to the SSF. Their job is, quite literally, to brush things under the rug, usually at the expense of non-humans. Cities that have experienced a rise of vampires don't let the SSF anywhere near it, if they can help it. But in places like North Haven, it's hard to get all the different non-humans to agree on anything other than not wanting humans to discover us. I'm not surprised they intervened again, but I am surprised they haven't shut Thorn investigations down yet, given our egregious list of violations. I don't like Abraxas any more than you do, but I've got to give it to him. His patience with you has been impressive. Oops. Careful. It almost sounded like a compliment. But Edgar's not wrong. Cersei should be a major liability in the SSF's books. She's bent or outright broken their rules plenty of times, yet Abraxas doesn't report half of the stuff she gets up to. Because of that, he now seems to believe she owes him some kind of favor. As if I ever asked for his help. You know what? Maybe he fancies you. My colossal ego is inclined to agree, but I don't think that's it. Besides, he's married. But his wife passed away ages ago. And yet, even after all this time, he still hasn't taken off his wedding ring. About 15 years ago, when they'd spoken face to face for the first time, it had been one of the things she first noticed about him. At the time, she'd been disappointed, assuming his wife was still alive. She's done a lot of awful things without guilt, but sleeping with a married man was something she'd like to avoid. In hindsight, she recognizes she dodged a bullet, even if only barely. A long time. I suppose. Edgar scratches his nose bridge, giving away how nervous he is. It never fails to amuse her how easy he is to read. Well, it's quite sad, isn't it? He must have loved her very much. Must be painful, missing someone that long. I guess? Cersei knows far too well what it feels like to mourn someone you'll never hold again. It doesn't have to mean that you loved them. But Edgar wouldn't be thinking about her experience in this moment. He must be thinking about his sister. On to more fun matters. Remember what day it is? With everything going on tonight, she'd nearly forgotten herself. So she can't say she blames him when Edgar pulls a face that says he definitely doesn't remember. Of course I remember. It's February 19th? 21? First of all, it's March. Actually, it's April. Is it really? I never tell when it's raining all year round anyway. Oh, fine. I'll tell you. It's our anniversary. What? It's been 20 years since the night we first met. Oh. Is that something to celebrate? Well, maybe. I mean, we have been working together for 20 years. I'd probably say at this point we're at least friends. Are we not? I mean, I'd hate to think that after working 20 years together that you think of me as just an associate. And we live together. I live upstairs, he's downstairs in his study. Like, come on. You don't value me at all. She slaps his arm, not with any real strength, obviously, or she'd break him. You weren't seriously expecting an anniversary gift, were you? What if I was? Then I'd warn you not to expect one for our 30th either. 30 years working together in the same city. Will we get that far? Do I even want to? Edgar eyes her awkwardly. You're not actually upset, are you? Just a teensy-weensy bit, Edgar. Just a teensy-weensy bit. No. Just sorely disappointed by your lack of camaraderie. And he smokes. And he smokes. Oh, that I need strength right now. Oh, I need so much strength not to just pounce this man right now. Holy shit. In reality, I probably would never actually date someone who smokes nicotine because I don't like the smell of cigarettes. But people who smoke are just inherently hotter. I don't know what to tell you. They are just inherently hotter. Edgar lights a cig, barely hiding a grin when he shoves it between his lips. Cersei smirks back at him. This kind of banter has long been part of their daily routine. She provokes him, he retorts with some snark, they laugh or roll their eyes, then rinse and repeat. It had taken a while to get here, of course. When they'd first met, Edgar was so angry with the world. He took everything as an insult. He has mellowed out over the years, gotten better at reserving his anger for when it's actually warranted. Most of the time. I should let our client know that we didn't get the Fangling. Ugh. It's annoying, but they don't have any other option. Their anonymous client was clear in their instructions. Seth must die tonight, or else no reward. With Seth in the SSF's custody, there's no way they can get to him before the sun's up. Ugh. I just realized. We'll have to return the deposit, won't we? It's the right thing to do. Can we afford to do that? Per your request, we've taken fewer jobs as of late, so we're stretched even thinner than usual. If we want to feel more secure about keeping the lights on, you could take a few more cases. Or spend less on clothes. Why would I do either of those things, when you're always working so hard to make sure we're a month ahead on rent? I've only got so much hair, Cersei. And I've only got so many dresses. Edgar heaves a sigh. Thought you might say that. I'll just take it out of my own pay then. She nods, pleased with his quick thinking. Anyway, that can all wait till tomorrow. Let's go to the Golden Cat and celebrate our 20th. You don't need to use our anniversary as an excuse. We go there every night. But tonight will be special. Drinks on me. Well, technically it's our rapidly depleting business funds that we'll be paying, but the sentiment stands. You sure know how to spoil a bet. So that's a yes? Yes, yes. Alright, just let me fetch my coat. Why do I feel like I'm forgetting something important? They share a knowing look. I only know one person who knocks like that. You take it. But I always answer the door. Only because you're so good at it. Edgar puts out a cig and walks over to the door, opening it to reveal... Edgar, Cersei, thank goodness you're still here. Mrs. Harris, their next-door neighbor, rushes inside. She's a kind old woman who thankfully never complains about the suspicious people going in and out of Thorne investigations at all hours. Helps that her eyesight isn't what it used to be. Same goes for her hearing, actually. Oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. I know how busy you are, doing your detective work, saving the day and all that. I can't find my baby anywhere. Her baby being her cat, Ellie. I feel awful bringing this to you at this hour, but would you mind having a look for her? I couldn't sleep knowing she's somewhere out there, old and alone and lost. Shivering to death. My poor baby. Her wailing's loud enough to wake up the entire building. Edgar starts to sweat. Edgar doesn't look like he's in the mood to go on a cat hunt. Luckily for him, they won't have to. Good news, we already found her. Her bawling immediately stops. You did? Yes, she's upstairs. She is? Edgar guides Mrs. Harris to the sofa. She sinks into it with relief. Oh, how lucky I am to have the city's finest detectives as my neighbors. It's not that hard to find someone who's hiding inside your own home. Cersei retrieves Ellie from upstairs, hesitantly returning her to her owner. Edgar watches the exchange with amusement. He's been nagging for ages that she should just stroll down to the shelter and pick up a cat of her own. Sadly, I lack the confidence to keep something living alive. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Mrs. Harris hugs the cat to her chest. Ellie lets out a not-so-pleased meow. You've saved my baby again. How can I ever repay you two? It's nothing. We're glad to help you anytime, free of charge. Nonsense. I'll make you biscuits and bring them over tomorrow. Knowing she wouldn't even be able to eat them, and no good could come from having Mrs. Harris lurking around unless necessary, Cersei tries to tell her, there's really no need. We'd love that. Thank you so much. Seriously? Edgar looks offended. I'm always serious about dessert. Very good, Mr. Thorne. It is important for growing boys to eat plenty. Good joke. The only thing Edgar's growing is a pitiful beard. Edgar rubs his jaw. And for that, you need plenty of calories. Sure, sure. Cersei gently gets Mrs. Harris up out of her chair and guides her to the door. The whole way there, Mrs. Harris rambles about what she's going to bake tomorrow. Cersei almost has to shove her out the door. When it's finally shut behind her, Cersei turns to glare at Edgar. What? It would be foolish of me to turn away free food. Anyway, with Mrs. Harris gone, there's only one thing left to do. Drinks? drinks. The Golden Cat is almost the polar opposite of Elysium. All supernaturals and even a few humans who are in the know come here. As long as you keep your fangs, claws, wands, whatever else you've got to yourself, you're welcome to pop in for a drink. Entering the pub, Cersei's eyes immediately hone in on one guest in particular. Oh, look, it's your little friend. Oh, I knew it. Okay. I mean, okay. I haven't played the other chapter, clearly. You guys saw my saves. But he was on the cover of the other guy's route of the possible characters. That I know for a fact that in this game there are 6 love interests. There's 3 for us, and then there's 3 for the other character. And he is on the cover of the game artwork, of the main artwork. So he is a love interest of the other story that happens. So I had a feeling that the stories would kind of intersect, but maybe it's just like it all happens in the same town, and you know, people's paths cross people's paths. So maybe that's what it is. How to stay hydrated. Raoul, a local cop with muscles that aren't just for show. He's seated near the bar, nursing a beer in one hand. Don't call him that. The way you phrase it makes it sound indecent. But he is your friend. Last I checked, your only friend. I have other friends. There's Richard, back in my hometown, though I haven't spoken to the Pratt in some time. Or even thought about him in a while. And, there's you. Yep. Oh, look at that blush. Look at that blush. Oh, God, it is taking everything in me to not romance Edgar. Oh my God. Ugh. I don't know. What do you want, chat? What do you want? What should I do? I can't. Look at this. Look at this cuteness. Oh. Oh, of course. Embarrassed by how much his words mean to her, Cersei is quick to change the subject. Thankfully, Edgar doesn't seem to mind, looking more than a little flustered himself. By the way, Raoul's like gay, right? What makes you say that? He's never responded to any of my flirting. Perhaps he's just not into you. No, he's definitely gay. She only flirts with Raoul to mess with Edgar. But it still surprises her Edgar hasn't noticed his friend's not into women. Is he really so oblivious, or is Raoul just that private? Maybe it's easier for her to tell because she also enjoys the company of her own sex. A bisexual queen. Soleil. Wait. You've been flirting with him? That's what he was mulling over? They walk up to Raoul. Edgar greets him first. Evening, Raoul. Did you get off work early tonight? Edgar and Raoul have an interesting friendship, if you can call it that. They meet up every few weeks, but it's never a planned thing. They'll just sit next to each other and chat over a few drinks, bonding over being humans in a world of supernaturals or whatever. Oh, hello, Edgar. Unfortunately, I'm still technically on the clock. Good to see you as well, Cersei. Have you been well? Raoul nods to Cersei, acknowledging her too. He's smiling, but she can't tell if it's out of politeness or if he's genuinely happy to see them. Sure. But what about you? Are you here on official business? Anything we should look out for? Well, he takes a look around. Where's your pup, by the way? Rare to see you without him. Barely a moment after he's mentioned, Cersei watches Dante, Raoul's police partner, step inside the bar. So our paths do cross. Oh, that's actually so cool. Oh, that is the coolest thing. Oh god, this game has me geeking. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's the coolest thing. Oh. Oh my god, I cannot wait until this game is able to is just fully out. I can't wait. Oh, it's so good. Okay. Speak of the devil. Or werewolf, I guess, if we're being technical. Dante looks a little out of sorts, hair sticking up even more than usual. He notices them immediately, but doesn't even spare them as much as a grunt of acknowledgement. Rubbing his arm, he instead stops at the other side of a bar to order a beer. I've always thought of him as a loose cannon, waiting to burst, but he looks especially on edge tonight. Something's rattled him. Then again, Dante's never behaved the way you would expect an officer to. Perhaps that's why I mind him less. Is he avoiding us? I think he can hear you. Yes, that was the point. She raises her voice. Perfect timing, Dante. We were just talking about you. What? No, we weren't. You do realize when you say it like that, you only sound more suspicious? Cersei. Raoul rests his chin on his palm, watching the scene with a little too much amusement for her liking. For some reason, Dante seriously freaks Edgar out. Now, this shouldn't be so surprising because Edgar's been easily scared as long as Cersei's known him. However, he's especially intimidated by Dante. To his defense, Dante does look like he'd punch your lights out if you look at him the wrong way on the wrong day. But you'd have to be pretty stupid to try something on Eddie while I'm around. In the meantime, Dante has picked up his beer and walked over. He offers a nonchalant wave with his free hand, which is probably as good of a greeting as we'll get from him. Did you forget to brush your hair this morning, or did you run into trouble on your way here? If anyone's picking on you, you can always let me know. I don't like animal abuse. Just ran into Abraxas. See him recently? Being reminded of Abraxas' existence again sets a frown on her face. Not really. And Dante smirks as Cersei knows he's gotten exactly what he wanted by bringing up Abraxas. I heard he and his agents were snooping around that museum that exploded, interviewing potential witnesses. A museum? An explosion? Could that be related to why Abraxas needed Seth? Yes, they'll be wandering around all city till that's sorted. Keep an eye on things. Ugh. If you haven't run into him yet, I'm sure you will. A lot. His smugness shifts to curiosity. Heard anything about that, though? Not sure what you're asking me for. I haven't got a clue what they're up to, and speaking from experience, it's best if it stays that way. Actually, why do you even care? Aren't the SSF and police supposed to stay out of each other's business as much as they can? Unless it's related to whatever the two of you are working on. Raoul wouldn't tell us anything, but maybe you will. You didn't give me the chance to say anything. As if you would have told me the truth if I did. She could have forced him to. If she really wanted to, she could use compulsion on either of them right now, and there wouldn't be much they could do about it. Dante's trickier because he's about as stubborn as one gets, but Raoul's only human. She wouldn't, though. Not because she's squeamish about compelling either of them. She's just not curious enough. Still, If Dante will tell her anything, she'll take it. Well, since you asked so nicely. No. Ugh, you suck. I don't. That's your job. Edgar, itching to get away from Dante, interrupts. Okay, well, you two look busy and we're in desperate need of a drink. We'll leave you to it. But, oh, whoops. Come on, Sassy. You've bothered them enough for tonight. How dare you? I'm perfectly lovely and pleasant to be around. Raoul waves to Edgar. Good to see you, Edgar. Yeah, cheers. Edgar takes her arm and she begrudgingly lets him pull her to another corner of the bar. They nab their usual seats close to the bartender. When they drink a lot, so it's good to have easy access. In order to maintain some level of dignity, we've agreed to never discuss exactly how much of our income goes to the Golden Cat. The bartender is swift. In a minute, they have their usuals in front of them. Some cocktails for Edgar and a totally not conspicuous glass of red wine for Cersei. So, when are we going to address the elephant in the room? Edgar sips his cocktail, raising a single brow at Cersei's question. I'm talking about your addiction to sugar. Should be criminal to even call that a drink. It's about 1% alcohol and 109% sugar. Not quite sure those numbers add up. Besides, what right do you have to judge anyone's choice of drink when you order the same thing every night? Why waste money on alcohol when it just spoils the taste of what I really want? I thought alcohol enhanced the taste of blood. Actually, I can't believe I've never asked you that before. He knows exactly why he hasn't asked. With each year that passes, Edgar grows more determined to avoid acknowledging what she really is. Depends on the vamp, but nothing will ever beat drinking it fresh from the tap. And have you started doing that again? She doesn't miss the regret in his eyes before he averts them. Still, she can't help the irritation she feels at what he's insinuating. Not since I ended things with Lazarus, you know that. Right. But you think that's a lie. I didn't say that. Even if I were doing it, I'm not like that fangling I met tonight. I have self-control. I'm fully capable of making my own decisions. I don't drink from people who don't want me to, and I certainly don't drain people, so you can stop looking at me like I bit your pasty ass. Pfft. Edgar's face falls in his hands, but his trembling shoulders do little to conceal his laughter. It's not funny. I'm annoyed with you. I know, I'm sorry. Sorry I am annoyed? Sorry you said it in the first place? Both? She's grinning now, too. Then why the laughter? Why'd you have to call me pasty? You know I've been trying really hard to build a tan. I hate to break it to you, buddy. But any shade you're gonna turn is gonna be red. Or pink. But it ain't gonna be tan, I hate to break it to you, buddy. You are indeed a little too pasty for that. You should give up on that. You're only adding to that constellation of freckles on your face. Yep. Yep. But you liked my freckles. I said that? I do. I do. I like your freckles, Edgar. What about you, chat? Do you like Edgar's freckles? Well, I must have been lying, since I'm apparently lying about everything these days. He grimaces. Seems he thought she was gonna let that one get swept under the rug. I'm sorry, Sassy. I didn't mean to accuse you. I know you're not like that. I know you wouldn't. It's just hard to forget the shit I've seen. The things I know you're capable of if you weren't held back by your own morals. It always comes back to this, huh? Edgar only likes Cersei who stands up against her own kind and looks out for the weak. Not the Cersei who lures strangers into her bed and sucks their blood. I don't know how to tell him that I'm both. So I don't. Nothing's holding me back. You make it sound like I'm forced to do this, but I choose to. It's not an easy choice. She's been like that Fangling, she's been worse, and it was fun. But she doesn't want to know how Edgar will look at her if she confesses that to him. I understand. Except he doesn't. Therein lies the problem. And therein lies the fact that he'll never understand. He's always going to look at it that kind of way because of his perspective as prey. She, no matter how much time changes, will always be a monster. She will always be a predator. And to him, that's not necessarily a side that he can ignore. And I'm not even sure that that's a side he can accept. Which really sucks. Because even if I wanted to romance Edgar, I don't think he would accept me for the whole monster that we are. Which is sucky. Edgar clears his throat and puts on a smile that trembles at the corners. We're here to celebrate. We should talk about happier things, shouldn't we? Courtesy of decades of practice, the smile she puts on herself is a lot more convincing. Right. Like your girly choice of drink? Was still on that? Hey, aside from the increased risk of diabetes, I find it cute that you have a sweet tooth. At 40 years old, being described as cute is no longer very flattering, but... Shh. Wait a second. Presses a finger to his lips, then motions to the radio playing on the counter. The news is on. Local authorities have stated a gas leak caused the explosion at Beaumont Museum last night. Beaumont Museum, that's where Dante and the SSF were digging around, right? The museum's doors will remain closed to the public till repairs on the private wing are complete. Blah blah blah. Among other news, the body of 23-year-old Jane Stewart was found last night. Earlier this month, Miss Stewart was reported missing. My God, has human news always been this boring? It's always the same thing. Someone was robbed, someone was murdered, someone was kidnapped. At least there's an explosion involved this time, but what's the aftermath? The next day, there was something else. Not anything worse, but nothing better either. You don't have to listen to the news to know how terrible the world can be. Just step outside. Ever been? Edgar and Cersei look up at the bartender. What? The Beaumont Museum? It's owned by one of the greatest wizards of our time. Renaud Beaumont. Never heard of him. What makes him so great? Many things. For starters, Cersei doesn't bother to listen, focused on twirling her drink around in her glass, but Edgar nods along, genuinely interested for whatever reason. Anyway, he has to be ancient now. He retired from the public eye decades ago. Even if he's still alive, it wouldn't surprise me if he didn't know what happened to his family's museum. Maybe we should set it on fire again and make sure he gets the memo this time. You wouldn't actually, would you? Want to find out? You have an annoying habit of doing the opposite of what I ask you, so no comment. The bartender leaves to serve another customer. Edgar starts patting his pockets. Bollocks. I'm all out. Don't hold yourself back on my account. The corner shop should still be open. Sure you don't mind me leaving you alone? He's already climbed to his feet. Oh, cigs. He's out of cigs. I think I'll live. Or at least not die. Again. I'll be back in no time. And he's gone. Sugar, coffee, cigs. Humans sure have a lot of stupid vices. She stares down at her drink. Not that mine are any better. She sips slowly, letting her eyes roam the room. She's not sure where the compulsion comes from. It's not as if she'll discover anything new. It's always the same old faces. No, wait. She is definitely new. Oh, hello, miss. Who are you? Cersei meets eyes with a woman at the far end of the pub. Beauty is no stranger to Cersei. She's seen it in many faces, many bodies, even a few hearts. But this woman isn't just beautiful. She's... The woman smiles. Well, let's interact with her and see what she's got going on. Because this music makes me think that she too is a vampire. Especially with the way that he dresses. Come on. Like, who dresses like that in this century as a human? Let's be real. Cersei returns the smile, but looks back down at her drink just as quickly. I'm not looking to hook up with anyone tonight. Although, that's a bit presumptuous of her. Maybe the woman was just being nice. Not really looking for nice, either. Wait. Cersei's head snaps up, but the woman is already gone. Nowhere to be seen. Only in her absence does Cersei realize that she couldn't detect what the woman was. Whoever or whatever that woman was, she means trouble. Okay, but what does wanting her exactly entail? Because I've only just met her. I don't want her in the sense of like I want to date her. I am just curious about her and I want to know more about her. And I feel like if we choose to forget about her, I don't know. I just feel like she's going to come up in the story later on, plot-wise. But maybe we're thinking too far into this because after all, this is just a demo. It's just a demo. Don't know how far we get. So fuck it. We'll say we want her. I want to speak to her. It makes no sense, but I want to see her again. I want to know her. I want her. Not her blood, not her body, not her heart. Cersei wants the mystery she offers. It's exactly what she's been looking for. A mystery time-consuming enough to end the perpetual boredom eating away at her. Preoccupied by her thoughts, Cersei barely notices Edgar's return. He slips off his jacket, slides back into his seat, and gestures for another round of drinks from the bartender. What took you so long? Ran into some trouble. Don't be stingy with the details. What kind of trouble? He lights a cig, angling his body towards her. Their knees brush, but neither move away. Used to the lack of personal space. Well... So, you see... No, never mind. Are you blushing? My god, you are. Not on purpose. Unfortunately, I don't think it's me having this effect on you. Though it must be something else. Edgar twists and squirms in his seat. Or someone else? Us. What is that even? Chat, what am I reading here? Wasas dotanadate. What wasasque dotanadate. Wasasque donatad that forget it. He spits out the words so fast, Cersei would have missed them if not for her supernatural hearing. You're messing with me. I wish I was. This is stressing me out. Wait, you said yes? What? Obviously, I said no. What? No to what? What's happening? That wasn't actual words. Was asked out on a date. Oh my. Don't look at me right now. Don't look at me right now. Oh my god. That's it. I'm ending the stream. Game over. So stupid. Oh. Guys, I can read. I swear I can read, guys. I swear I'm literate. Why would it be obvious? Was something wrong with her? No, she was pretty and nice and smelled good. Too many details now. Sorry, I just thought she had nice perfume. You'd like it, actually. You're only making it weirder. I said no because it would never have worked. She's human. As are you. But I don't live like one. Excuses, excuses. Think about it for a second. I run a supernatural detective agency. How do I explain that to someone outside this business? Not to mention how I'm up all night, asleep most of the day. No sane normal person would want to be with someone like me. Oh, come now. So what if she doesn't fit into your normal schedule? You make time when you're in love. Love? God, I definitely don't have time for that. Not when there's clients to be managed and bills to be paid and... You don't have to work all the time, Eddie. You could take off one night of drinking to get laid. Shh! What if someone hears you? Oh, come now. You're a grown man. You can't possibly still be embarrassed by the word sex. I'm not. We're in public. Sex, sex, sex. Jesus Christ. Breeding, mating, copulating, fornicating. And what is it you Brits say? Shagging. Oh my god. Cersei is cackling like a madwoman while Edgar hisses under his breath. Cersei, I am begging you to stop. Edgar looks about ready to explode from embarrassment, anxiously glancing around to make sure no one's heard her. Cersei doesn't have the heart to remind him that they're at a bar for supernaturals. Almost everyone's guaranteed to have overheard. Anyway, wouldn't it be nice to be with someone, even if it's only for the night? Oh no. Oh no. Oh, they whip out the good Eddie picture. Oh no. I'm a goner. I'm a goner. Guys, I'm a sucker. In more ways than one. Ugh. Edgar laughs, shaking his head, more to himself than in response to her words. Somehow, I prefer to be here. Aw, with me? I wouldn't necessarily consider your presence to be an advantage. But yes, I prefer to be here with you. Oh. How far far does the demo go, though? How far does the demo go? Oh, guys, we're so fucked. I'm such a simp. I. It was a mistake to stream a dating simulator. I am such a simp. You guys are literally going to see me simp for every single character and try to figure out just one person to romance because that's just how it works. And I can't romance them all at the same time. Ugh. Fuck it. Good thing he said no. It's selfish, but Cersei's pleased he rejected the stranger. I'd be jealous if he suddenly had less time for us. The relationship isn't romantic, so it's not like he'd be cheating on her. But she likes their routine. It's the only stable routine she's ever had, and she doesn't want that to change. Besides, he's got a point. It's not like he could still work with her and lead a normal life. That's just not how it works. Of course, there are people like Raoul and Dante's supervisor, Orion, who have human families and try to live as normally as possible. But Orion's an anomaly, and with time, vampires like him learn the hard way that rejecting your nature never works out in the long run. Edgar's different. He could pack his bags, move cities, and go back to living a normal life whenever he wants. As long as he remains here, though, he'll never be able to pull the wool back over his eyes. Edgar taps out his cig in the nearest ashtray. Enough about that. Did I miss anything here? Nope. For some reason, it doesn't feel right to mention the mysterious woman. Maybe because she knows how Edgar worries and doesn't want him to start. The bartender slides their new drinks towards them. They clink glasses. To 20 years of this hellish profession. And to 20 more. In the end, Edgar has one too many drinks. He leans on Cersei the entire walk back to his flat. She stops when they reach his building. He's never— Oh, so they don't live together. He works where she lives. Okay. That makes a lot more sense, I guess, actually. He's never invited her upstairs before, and she doubts it'll be any different tonight. But what if it is different tonight? But what if it is different tonight, chat? Well, I'm saying it might be different. Hold on, let me save another time. Because I need— okay, there's 3 characters, I have 3 saves. I probably won't do all of this stuff on stream. I'll probably just play up until the demo tells me I can't play anymore. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the cards align. We'll see how the stars align. Will you make it upstairs on your own? Why wouldn't I? He pushes off of her and stumbles up the stairs to the entrance. He almost falls over several times, but by some miracle he manages to reach the door without breaking any bones. See, he hiccups. I'm perfectly fine. Right. See you tomorrow night. He waves her goodbye, and she waves back. Good night. She waits until he's safely inside the building. Chances are low he'll die on his way up to the lift, so Cersei begins the stroll back to her own flat. She walks at a leisurely pace, like the threat of the rising sun won't be upon her any moment now. Like her slow pace might delay the inevitable day. Cersei strips down to her underwear. Her one-bedroom flat has no bed, only a sofa, so that's where she lies down. Outside, the sun slowly rises, and the world Cersei will never get to be a part of again wakes up. She stares up at the ceiling, trying not to think about the growing resentment she feels every time she has to hide away from the sun. I didn't always hate daytime. When her common sense returned after her fangling year, Cersei had found that the day offered endless opportunities for self-improvement. She read novels, she meditated, she brushed up on her history, learned martial arts, studied different languages, read some more, slept with all kinds of people. Men, women, people who didn't really identify as either. Half of the time, she didn't even feed on them. She liked to cuddle in bed afterwards, basking in their heat. When films became a thing, she found herself obsessed with cinema, lived hundreds of different lives through the stories of others. But, like everything else, it soon got dull, hiding herself in escapism to distract herself from her own thoughts. Lately, she can't be bothered to do much of anything anymore. Is this all there is to eternity? An endless cycle of wanting and no longer wanting? Forever falling in and out of love with what once meant the world to you? If she shuts her eyes, if she pretends hard enough, she can almost imagine she's dreaming. Where do her dreams bring her today? Who should we dream about, chat? Who should we dream about? Let's see. Let's see. What do we pick here? What do we pick? Oh, it's fine. See, this is why we have 3 saves, guys. This is why we have 3 saves. So we can relish in all the options. Okay, 3rd time's a charm. Okay, so let's start with Abraxas. Let's start there. Ugh. Just picturing that self-righteous face of his irritates her. Nope. Not even worth thinking about for a second. Oh. Okay, I guess that didn't matter. Eddie's funny when he's drunk. Though most of their nights might end at the Golden Cat, Edgar rarely drinks enough to get wasted. His love of tobacco might send him to an early grave, but at least alcohol poisoning won't. A small comfort. The mystery woman. Who was she? More importantly, what was she? Every person has a distinct aura. Some call it life force. Some call it the soul. Whatever you'd like to call it, everyone has it. Not everyone can detect it, but Cersei's trained to ensure she never misses it. So the fact that she'd missed this one, it unsettles her. It unsettles her very much. She continues to dream. She tries her best to fight against the current of her thoughts, but somehow they always lead back to him. Don't think about him. Against her own will, Cersei remembers him. Open your eyes. Look into my eyes. See yourself as you truly are, as you were always meant to be. I'm afraid. For us, fear is a choice. When she opens her eyes and looks into his, she doesn't see herself. She sees him. And only him. Beautiful. He whispers, reverent. I will never make anything as beautiful as you again. But sire, you did not make me. I did. His spindly fingers caress her skin with such tenderness. She foolishly mistakes it for fondness. I delivered you from death. I rendered you invulnerable to the horrors of time. I captured you in the moment you were most beautiful. You were the most beautiful you ever would be. Beautiful. Forever. She holds the monster's stare. My eternal companion. Forever. The sun has set again, but Cersei only snaps out of her daydreams when she hears the balcony door open. She doesn't have to get up to guess who's broken into her flat. She'd recognize those steps anywhere. Ah, Abraxas. Fancy that. Just when we were dreaming of you. You better have a good reason for this, Abraxas. She stands up to glare at him. His eyes linger on her lack of attire for no longer than what is polite. At least he's a gentleman. I mean, I wouldn't mind if he stared, but at least he's a gentleman. I apologize for the impromptu visit, but it could not wait. Would you please put some clothes on? Then, of course, I shall explain my unconventional entrance. Let's tease him. Why not remove your own clothes if it feels unfair? Do not be unreasonable. It is not a matter of what is fair or not, but of what is appropriate. Well, I won't be putting mine on. This is my home, and I'm comfortable like this. It wouldn't be courteous for me to be here while you are... He gestures awkwardly, refusing to look at her again. Unprepared for guests. Exactly why should you remove yours? Exactly why you should remove yours? Make it even. Take it off, Raxus, take it off. You must know she's messing with him. She can tell from that angry furrow he's failing to hide between his brows. But he slips off his jacket anyway, hanging it over the side of the sofa. Huh? Chat, forgive me. My ovaries are going in overdrive right now. Okay. I'm taking it in. And we're moving on. Satisfied? So very satisfied. Her eyes linger appreciatively on the way his shirt stretches across his chest. Is it intentional that your shirts are always a size too small for you? If you intend to objectify me, I will be putting my jacket back on. My bad, Abraxas. My bad. She sighs dramatically. Never any fun, are you? As a vamp, shouldn't you know better than to enter a stranger's home without invitation? We are not strangers. We're not friends either. Acquaintances? Are you seriously trying to negotiate our level of familiarity? He eyes the balcony he just sneaked through. I didn't mean to cause you any distress, but I had to make sure no one would know I was here. And you felt that creeping in through the balcony was the most discreet way to accomplish that? I was not creeping. Really? His eyes sweep down her body again. He clears his throat and pretends to be distracted by the posters lining her wall. I believe this is my first time seeing your flat. Do you watch a lot of films? Explain why you broke into my damn flat. Sneaked in. Don't be childish. It's not cute when you're like 200 years old. It's about the case that Seth was witness to. Did you release him already? Of course. We had no reason to hold him after questioning. No reason? I gave you a reason. Yes, I put in word with the SCD to look into him sooner rather than later. They mentioned he hadn't received any reports from you, however. Oops. I did not come here to talk about Seth. I need a favor. Will you do it? The request surprises her. She studies his face, waiting for the punchline. Well, will you? I can't believe my ears. The great Abraxas is asking for my help? Really? Do not make me repeat myself. It was difficult enough the first time. Even if she finds it hard to believe, Abraxas is definitely telling the truth. He barely even relies on his own agents, so for him to come to her of all people for help, it means he needs something badly enough to swallow his pride. I never expected to see the night. She's already set on not doing it, because why would she in her right mind ever help Abraxas? But that doesn't mean she's not curious. You're going to have to share more details before I decide. Have you heard of the incident at the Beaumont Museum? In passing. This must never become public knowledge, but the gas leak was a cover-up coordinated by us at the SSF. Wow. Who could ever have imagined? Magic triggered the explosion. The burst of energy was so powerful that should our culprit have wished to, they could have destroyed far more than a single wing. At worst, I fear they might even be able to burn down half of North Haven. My agents and I have determined it cannot be a mere accident. This was an intentional attack. I see. Unfortunately, it gets worse. The wing that was destroyed harbored several magical artifacts, one of which is now missing. You should be grateful then. They could have stolen all of them. I sent my team to clean up the scene and deal with any witnesses. That's when they found the initials JM painted on the wall. Whoever or whatever this JM is, it is our only lead. Couldn't you trace the magic from the explosion? Cersei knows for a fact that the SSF North Haven branch has a very talented witch in their ranks. She even happens to be Abraxas' second in command. We suspect it was caused by the artifact itself, which didn't leave any residue from the user behind. Okay, but why do you want me involved? The SSF regularly collaborates with the Supernatural Police, but that's it. They've never worked with the Thorn investigations. And while Cersei's not opposed to a challenge, she's no witch hunter. She knows vampires, she knows werewolves, she knows demons. But messing with the wrong wizard can have deadly consequences. It's common sense not to get involved with their affairs. We were going to launch a full investigation into JM when we were explicitly told by people higher up the ladder to drop the case. Apparently, an outsider is being sent from elsewhere to continue the investigation. I take it that's unusual? Not necessarily. There have been cases where we've collaborated with external parties. But the key word there is collaboration. Never, in all the time I have worked for the SSF, have I been locked out of a case in this manner. Oh, come on. You've lived long enough to know there's a first for everything. I know. Still, I am suspicious of their intentions. I have no real reason to be, no actual evidence. Nothing to work with but a presentiment. I cannot shake the feeling that something is wrong. Honestly, since when do you care? Well, since when do you care? Actually, yeah, since when do you care? Since when do you care? I thought it wasn't any of your business if the laws enforced by your superiors might be unfair to us non-humans. I know what you think of me, Miss Cersei, but I am not your enemy. The SSF do what we must to protect supernaturals from humans and them from us. Sometimes that means the occasional casualty on our side. Our side, he says. When has he ever been on our side? Anyhow, given the things you get up to in your own time, I do not think you should be judging anyone else. You know, he kind of does have a point there, though. He brings up a very, very valid point against Cersei because Cersei was literally, had Abraxas not intervened because he needed that bitch-ass Fangling, she would have killed that Fangling where he stood. He would have been gone. Which, technically, is a casualty on their side, right? So I think he brings up a fair counter argument. I'll judge whoever I want, whenever I want. I don't kill vamps out of some sense of moral superiority. I kill it because it's fun and it pays bills. Maybe that makes me a bit of a bitch. So what? I'm not so sanctimonious that I need to pretend my actions are morally justified. Are you really so irredeemable when you only kill the bad ones? Don't paint me as some sort of anti-heroine. All vamps are bad. Even you, especially me. Same goes for humans, werewolves, witches, you name it. We're all equally capable of bad and good. That's why it means something when we choose to do good. Abraxas doesn't look surprised by her speech. He may not know the full extent of what Cersei used to get up to before North Haven, but unlike Edgar, he can surely imagine. This is Cersei on her best behavior. And if you ever have the misfortune of meeting her at her worst, well, good luck. I only target the so-called bad ones because I don't need any more trouble with the law than I already have. Also, if someone's willing to pay to see you dead not once, but twice, you're probably an asshole anyway. Abraxas shakes his head. He gives up on adding anything to this conversation, returning to the previous subject. Technically, I am not betraying orders. It's not me who's investigating this, after all. It's you. And if you happen to feed some information back to me, then that is simply how it goes. Loophole of the century. Yeah, what was the artifact? You said an artifact was stolen. What exactly was it? If I knew, I would have told you. I doubt that. I mean it. I know no more beyond the little I have already shared with you. Which is like nothing. It was hidden in plain sight inside Renaud Beaumont's private collection. We had planned to contact him about it before we were ordered to drop the case. So, all we know is that it can make stuff go boom. Not the exact words I would use, but essentially yes. Who's to say that power didn't come from the person wielding the artifact? Abraxas firmly shakes his head, like he's already ruled that option out. There are wizards and witches capable of things our minds cannot imagine, but it would be suicide to release a burst of energy that large without assistance. When magic's involved, nothing is impossible. I suppose, still, I would say it's too unlikely to be worth consideration. Seth was the only witness? The only witness who might have seen anything of note, at least. We've interviewed all the others and we've learned nothing. Who might have? I thought you brought him in for questioning. We did. However, we were told to drop the case before we could ask him anything worthwhile. Once again, the SSF proved to be embarrassingly incapable. Not our finest work, I know. Cersei folds her arms over her chest. I'll help you under one condition. Why are you making that face? You haven't even heard what I have to say yet. Fine. State your terms. It's quite simple. If you're so desperate for my help, beg for it. No. He moves to leave, but she blocks his path. Always so uptight. Let me rethink this. Abraxas just stares, waiting. She takes her time, hemming and hawing, simply for the amusement of keeping him in suspense. Oh, all right. I'll do it. His glare softens, but only barely. Just enough for her to notice. Thank you. Don't thank me. I'm not doing it for you. It just sounds like a compelling case. Far more interesting than anything I've worked on lately. Maybe this is what will fish her out of her slump. Keep her running Thorn investigations for another 20 years. You'd better pay us, though, and provide a generous tip. Everyone knows Abraxas sits on a monstrous amount of generational wealth from his previous life. I'm kind of curious what his previous life was like. Something she might as well use to her advantage here. That can be arranged. Perfect. Now, give me a moment to get dressed and I'll get you out of here. There's no need. I have my own way. The balcony again? Absolutely not, Romeo. His eyes shift to the floor, brows drawing together. He's conflicted about this? Perhaps it's because he's never broken the rules in the past. He fears the consequences should anyone learn that he's disobeying orders. I'll reassure him. The SSF have no reason to monitor your every move. Even if someone does find out that you came here, surely you're quick-witted enough to think of an excuse on the spot. Yes. Yes, you're right. There are plenty of reasons why I might come to see you. Plenty, you say? Such as? He rolls his eyes and any previous hints of vulnerability vanish. Never mind that. Get dressed. I do not have all night, and neither do you. Just for the attitude, I'll make sure to take my sweet time. Cersei leads Abraxas downstairs so he can leave through the front door like a normal person. In their office, a freshly shaven... Oh, he is freshly shaven. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss his 5 o'clock shadow. I miss the scruff. I think the scruff was cute. But oh well. Oh well. He's mid-bite on a biscuit when they enter. Take that out of your mouth so we can understand. He swallows. Why is he here? Good to see you too, Thorn. Pleasure's all yours, prick. Edgar's nasty glare softens only slightly when he shifts eyes to Cersei. I repeat, why is he here? And why was he upstairs? And how did he even get in? I've been here over an hour and the door's been shut the entire time. Did he show up during the day? Did you spend all... Before you let your imagination run to places I don't even want to imagine, how about you shut up and let me talk? This is no time for jokes. This is no time for jokes. He broke in earlier, tried to ambush me. Again, I didn't break in, I sneaked in. I'm pretty sure it's snuck. I snuck in. And I did not ambush you. I don't see the difference. That's what I said. I had a good reason to do so. Full offense, I still think you could have used the door. Alright, but what did he want? I'm standing right here, Thorn. You could simply ask me. Or I could not. Abraxas sneers. In that case, I shall leave the explaining to your boss. Edgar lifts his plate. You're going to piss off now, right? Have a biscuit before you go. Fresh from our neighbor. I can't. Oh, that's right. You can't eat. I can, but the taste is repulsive and I cannot properly digest it, meaning I would have to... Abraxas pauses. Ah, you're mocking me. Edgar stuffs a cookie in his mouth. Took you long enough. Abraxas focuses on Cersei again. Report to me as soon as you find something. You know where to find me. Yes, sir. Edgar lights a cig after Abraxas leaves. She waits for his patience to wear thin. It doesn't take long. So, he wants us to look into something. She explains everything to Edgar. Same as her, he's baffled that Abraxas would ignore a direct order from his superiors. It doesn't make sense. I know. That's why it's interesting. Some measly initials aren't much of a lead, though. JM could be a person, an organization, or a movement. How would we know? Only one way to find out. Let's split up and check in with our contacts around the city and see if they've heard anything. You know which side is yours. Right. Enjoy your biscuits. I'll head out first. She walks up to the window. She's moments away from transforming when Edgar calls out. Cersei. Be careful, please. Worry about yourself, old man. 20 years ago, I was a boy. Today, I'm an old man. Give it another 10 years and I'll be dust and cobwebs in your eyes. It's a compliment. I like older men. It's not a compliment. You have extremely questionable tastes. Don't downplay your sex appeal. Your creaky knees and back issues especially are oh so attractive. Enough. Don't you have somewhere to be? Try not to miss me too much. Cersei transforms, circling Edgar once before she flies out the window into the night. Thorn Investigations has established a trusted net of sources around North Haven over the past 2 decades. From small business owners to working girls, to regular everyday people oblivious to the supernatural world, you never know who might have the intel you need. But none of their usuals have anything useful for Cersei. No one's heard of the initials before. For her last stop, Cersei catches Nisha away from Elysium on her smoke break. Glad to see you 2 nights in a row. Don't get used to it. Wouldn't dare to. Nisha takes a long drag of her cig. She blows the smoke away from Cersei. How'd it go with the Fangling last night? Ugh, she would really prefer to forget the whole thing. But it seems the universe is not intent on letting her. SSF showed up. Nisha rolls her eyes, getting exactly what happened without Cersei having to explain. Another reason Cersei appreciates her. They share a dislike of law enforcement. Although you'd be hard-pressed to find a supernatural in North Haven who doesn't dislike a practice. I'll let you know if Seth ever shows his mug around Elysium again. As he couldn't pay his fee last night, he's on the shit list. I mean, technically it was out of his control, but we're not meant to know that, so... Thanks, but if he knows what's good for him, he's already left the city. I wouldn't underestimate how stupid that idiot can be. Anyway, you're obviously not here to talk about Seth. What's going on? Have you seen the initials JM anywhere before? Nisha shrugs. No. Is that someone important? Another dead end. I don't even know if it's a who or a what yet. But if you hear anything, Nisha tips her imaginary hat to Cersei. You'll be the first one to know, of course. Thanks. Nisha butts out her cig on the nearest wall. If that's all, I should get back inside. Elysium doesn't run itself. Lazarus still leaving all the work to you? He pulls his weight. Sometimes. Kick him in the balls for me when you see him next. I quite like this job, so I will not be doing that. But you have my respect for your commitment to hating him. It's a lifestyle at this point. Huh. Nisha waves her goodbye and disappears inside the abandoned building. Cersei sighs and returns to the streets. Let's see if Edgar had better luck. The lights are on when Cersei enters the office. Edgar must have gotten back first. If you're here already, I guess you didn't find anything worthwhile either. She stops at the doorstep. Oh, you can't be serious. 2 break-ins in one night? Oh, it's the woman. Edgar's nowhere to be seen. Standing behind his desk is the mystery woman from last night. Finally, Cersei can see the woman for what she really is. A witch! A witch! Oh, our first witch! A very powerful one, if she's able to conceal her magic like that. There you are. I've been waiting for you. Her eyes leave the streets outside to meet Cersei's gaze. They stare at each other for a long beat, neither willing to break eye contact or begin conversation. Eventually, the woman smiles, impressed for some reason. You have a spine, a quality I respect, as long as one does not mistake it as a suitable replacement for competence. As you are doing right now? The woman laughs. You have a sense of humor as well. That is good. When Cersei doesn't move, the woman pushes away from the wall to stand up straight. She's tall, in the same way models are. It should be a pointless, ridiculous, inappropriate thought to have in this moment. And yet, Cersei can't help but feel that there's something unnatural about how bewitching the woman before her is. Apologies and introductions are in order. Which would you prefer to hear first? You choose. Oh, well, if you insist. My name is Nocturne. I am not a local, but perhaps my accent gave that away already. Amongst the many strange circumstances of the situation, Cersei has barely noticed the subtle French accent. Guys, I can't do a French accent, I'm sorry. I'd love to try for you, but I'm afraid it would just sound very very bad. It would sound so terrible. I'm sorry to ambush you like this in your own office. But you're a busy lady. It is not so easy to catch you alone. Please, do not worry. I truly mean you no harm. Am I expected to just believe that? Apparently so, because Nocturne continues talking like nothing's out of the ordinary. It really is a pleasure to meet you, Cersei. I've heard terrible things about you and the work you do, which means you must be good at it. Whatever you've been told, I'm worse. Perfect. That is exactly the kind of woman I'm looking to hire. Cersei narrows her eyes at the witch. You want to hire me? For what exactly? Nocturne doesn't look like she requires any help killing your typical street vamp. So it's definitely not for that. The same thing everyone hires you for. I'm looking for someone. I want you to find them. Right. Unfortunately for you, I'm quite busy at the moment, so I won't be able to take your case. Goodbye. Nocturne's voice is firm, even as her perfect smile stays painted on. You're already looking for them. Who? Hold on, chat. Chat, I hate solicitors. I hate them. I thought it was important because it looked like someone from the main office, but it was not. Ugh. And now my dog is outside. I will have to step away in a couple minutes here to let her back inside. But let us move on, shall we? So JM is a person. I presume so. The person they're pretending to be, the real JM, was a brilliant young witch. But who knows when it comes to this imposter? They could be anyone for all we know. How do you know it's an imposter? Why couldn't it be the real JM? Because she is dead. Nocturne's tone is so detached, Cersei can hardly believe this isn't all one big joke. She's dead. Quite dead, yes, I would know. I killed her. She's dead. And you killed her? Murdered, slew, killed, whichever word you prefer. Assuming that's even true, why would you admit to that to a complete stranger? I told you. I've done my research. I know everything I need to know to determine that you are capable of this job. If I did not believe you were capable, I would not be here. I am not a witch who wastes her time on whims. Throughout this conversation, Nocturne's smile has never fallen. Till now. You must understand, it is most important to me that this person is found. I want the best detective possible on the job, and I believe that to be you. So you will take my case. You will find the imposter and the artifact they got their thieving little hands on. You will bring them both to me, and you will not disappoint. She smiles again. Money is of no consequence to me, so you will, of course, be well compensated for your efforts. Huh. For once, Cersei is genuinely at a loss for words, but Nocturne doesn't seem to mind. I'll take it your silence to mean you accept, yes? No! 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 God damn it. Oh, well, chat. This is the end of the demo. We've done all we can. For one story, anyway. I'm just saying. Just saying. Oh, God. It's such a good story. Such a good story. And I probably take it that on... What is his name? Dante? I take it that in Dante's route, he probably... Or we probably learned more about what happened at the museum more hands-on. So I am very curious to see what that route is like. I'm not gonna play it on stream. I'm gonna do that in my own time because I have full faith in you guys that you will check out this game, and if you're interested, you will play Dante's side of the story on your own time as well. I want you guys to enjoy it just as much as I have enjoyed the game myself. Let's see. Let's see how many people worked on this game actually. Lead writers, Sarah, Melly, one programmer, one character artist and creature artist, additional artists, character design, background artist, background design, UI design, one person did the music, blah, trailer. Trailer, there's a trailer? Prop art, 2D special effects, sound effects, sound, programming tools. Yeah. Very, very small team, but great stuff. I'm so glad that I found it. That I found this game. And I'm really, really happy that I could share it with you all. Yeah. That's kind of what I want to do for like my platform. As much as I love bigger games, I want to give voices to a lot of the smaller games out there. A lot of indie gamers and indie developers out there. Because I feel in my own experience, it can be really hard to break into the industry as a developer. So anytime people make just like a good quality game completely on their own, just for the sake of having fun and for the name of the game, I love artists. What can I say? Love them. Yeah, I cannot get enough of this game. Okay, tomorrow, it's not my usual schedule, but I'm hoping to make this a future thing. Tomorrow we have a stream from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. or longer. Depends. EST. And tomorrow it's just gonna be a chill time for chatting and doing artwork. I'm most likely gonna be doing my 3D modeling for the environment art that I do for the indie game that I'm working on currently. I may also end up doing some stuff on Live 2D and rigging my VTuber model. So if you guys want to come hop in, say hello tomorrow, just chat, ask any questions, or even just vibe and do your own artwork and do your own thing, then I will happily see you guys tomorrow. Other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys really enjoyed seeing Burn the Midnight Oil. Once again, please go wishlist this on Steam. I'm going to give this a huge shout out on my YouTube later today. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Bye-bye, my jellies.